Alright, welcome back to episode 15 of Marvel Ultimate Alliance here as we finally begin the attack on the Mandarin's palace. So, I'm just going to wander around, open a few doors, see what happens. Okay, so first thing you run into are these Shaolin Monks. Now these guys, you can see they have a little bit of range attack there. They also have a lot of defense and a fairly good ability to block. So that's one thing we can run into. And then we'll very quickly here give Venom his ultimate move now that we've saved up enough skill points for it. So maybe we'll start seeing some more ultimate moves besides just SpiderMan's here and there. We collected a fair amount of coins, but I'm going to keep collecting those. I don't really see the need to spend them. And there's our first example of another type of enemy on this level, and that is the Clay Warrior. Now, some of these guys just spawn, but others of them are statues.
Who else needs an attitude adjustment?
Or at least you think they're statues, and then after we pick up some sketch art, they just turn into soldiers on you, and you have to fight them. So anytime you see a statue in this level, you really have to sort of be careful. And here's a rope for us to pull on. But this requires button mashing, not my forte. And we screwed it up the first time. Let's try it again. And there we go. The door is open. And we can finally, we can move on into here. Here's some more Shaolin Monks spawning into the arena for us. And you can see the map can be just a little bit confusing. We're going to go ahead and grab Miss Marvel's ultimate move since she's just leveled up. I think at this point we should have everybody's ultimate move. Right, so now we're starting to run into some more of those guys who were statues but then become soldiers. Again, you can kill them from long range and prevent them from transforming and thus causing you trouble. I don't know if you probably don't get as much experience that way though. Okay, so this hallway is kind of it's a ring and then there's something in the middle here. So we're going to send our one flying character into the middle and hope that she doesn't fall off or something. And yeah, we did actually need to activate that center section. So let her take care of those two guys. And Venom's going to show up for some reason. Now we can fly back over and aid our comrades against the rest of these Shaolin Monk types. Miss Marvel is something of a brawler. Although she has lots of things that her character can do, as we'll probably see later on in the playthrough. Alright, now we're getting some red glowy enemies. So, instead of wondering about those guys, let's just go ahead and use our special move and take them on out. Alright, and then this is another thing that's in Mandarin's hideout. These things that look like they're loot destructibles, but they're actually bombs. And so you have to be careful with that, because you can see we drove Spider-Man down all the way to low health here. And we still have to deal with these characters. Now, Okay, we took care of some of the bombs from distance. Now there's something you can pick up and wield. You can see it glowing on the floor there.
That's what you want.
And I think it disappears before we're able to pick it up. Because this is what I'm trying to do with Venom here, is I'm trying to find it to give Venom something to bash with. Because I'm not entirely comfortable with where Spider-Man's health is right at the moment. So we're running around here. Okay, more bombs, but this time we don't trigger them. And now we're heading into the next room. Which looks a lot like one of the other rooms we were in. But, you know, one of the things I like about the Mandarin level is the amount of detail that they spent, or that they put on the ship. I know a fair amount of it looks generically Asian, but it does hold together better than some of the other levels that we'll run into. So it looks like something's going to happen at the top of these stairs. So let's change to a more brawly character. Up, and here comes the Dragon Man. I don't know if Dragon Man is another alien from Oculus 4, or if he's just another character they've thrown in here. But he does have several abilities that can mess you up. And you can see that Venom is already in the danger zone. So I'm going to switch away from him in an attempt to keep him alive. I'm going to try to stay away from the bombs, and it didn't really succeed, and poor Venom took the brunt of that, and so he's now knocked out. But we did gain a reputation level, so we can add a skill point for our team, and off camera I'm going to put that into Team Force, which allows your team to hit a little bit harder, because most of the time our guys aren't really in health trouble, although, you know, hey, we just did lose Venom to that health thing. And so, you know, since we had to hit the target last time we were here, I thought maybe we needed to hit this one too, but no, we just need to keep going down the stairs, and it's now just a 3-man squad here with Captain America, Spider-Man, and Miss Marvel. So I'm going to be a little more cautious with only 3 people. And we're also going to be on the lookout for our next opportunity to bring Venom back. Now he's going to take a little while to recover as we break all these nice, pretty vases. There's lots of stuff in Mandarin's Palace that you can break and get coins out of. And since this was my first run through of this game, you're not going to see me doing all too much of that. But there really is a lot of stuff that you can loot from this place, assuming you don't hit the bombs. So, right, there's a door here. We're going to go away from that door because it doesn't look like it was going to let us open it. So we're going to go down the stairs. Now, if you're not paying attention to the map and the layouts of of Mandarin's headquarters, a fairly decent idea is just to go where the enemies are. Because, you know, once you're through that area, they're not going to come back on you. You can see some more enemies down here.
Chill out, Mandarin. We're not happy about being here. But there's a few questions we need the answers to.
I am no commoner for you to question whenever you wish. Be gone, or I will destroy you, Ms. Marvel.
Sorry, no can do. We saw you in Atlantis, and we need to know why you were there.
I have no time for your senseless ravings. Ultimo will deal with you.
So I thought it was neat that you had the particular conversation between Mandarin and Miss Marvel. One recommendation for this level is, I would think, would be to bring Iron Man, who's the traditional enemy of Mandarin, and probably that will give you more unique dialogues. But here we're in the fight with the first Ultimo robot. And, just by trying to stay away from him, he's got big attacks. They're fairly easy to avoid. We've already got him down to about half health. But remember, this is supposed to be the big anti-Iron Man machine that the Mandarin has. And we just went through it pretty easy. Granted, we did not have Tony with us. Just the three of us here. And assuming we're not going to play around with any of the bombs, which I would recommend not doing. You would feel pretty comfortable, I think, at this point, coming through Mandarin's palace. Granted, we did lose Venom in the Dragon Man fight. But it's kind of mazy, and a lot of these rooms do connect to each other. Or at least appear as if they connect to each other. And there you can see, just past that door right there, is a place where we could go and get Venom back. So we just need to go back up there. And now Venom is fully rested, so we won't even have to wait. Or spend any time. But unfortunately, this door is locked. And so we need to do some things before we can actually get to the other side. And those things include fighting these Shaolin Monk guys. And fighting these Shaolin Monk guys brings up an interesting thing about SpiderMan and his skills. Now, the Shaolin Monks have resistance to magical attacks, or sort of energy-based attacks, but Spider-Man's web shots are not energy-based attacks or magic-based attacks. So they still do a pretty good chunk of damage, and they work very well against enemies who have special protections against elemental damage, because a lot of projectile damage in this game is elemental. But with Spider-Man, it's just physical damage. It's just from further away. And we got a little special move there from Spider-Man and Captain America, just both using their attacks at the same time. And now we're going to see the area flooded with more enemies, trying to keep us away from getting Venom back, which is not very nice of them.
I don't have enough power. I have located the enemy.
And here we have a regenerating character. We're going to see some more of those. And, yep, here's the spot where we can get Venom back. There he is. And so now we've got the full team going to advance further on into the palace here. After a brief investigation to make sure that see if I really want to go looking around for stuff that we might have left behind, and I don't really want to do that. So we're going to go up the stairs as soon as we can convince ourselves that that's where we want to go. And now we're in the Golden Court. And so we have more of these statue soldiers to fight. more of these hallways to kind of power through here. More vases to break. There's also going to be, you can see the wooden pillar there. We're going to see more of those. Now some of these are breakable and can give you access to secret passageways and whatnot. For this early playthrough, I really didn't do much of that because I didn't realize that's what was going on. And it's not really this room where that's true, but you'll see it more later on. So here we are, sort of walking into a big area, and my team decides to just go and run into the middle of everything. Well, I'm not going to quite do that. I'm going to go with what I can see here. That is going to give us a little bit of some SpiderMan solo action until Captain America makes a huge jump up to the second level and brings everybody with him. And then they go run around, and it looks like they do a fairly good job of wiping some other guys out. We get some levels. Okay, we found another some more clay warriors. And I'm holding off on my special attack until we get into a situation where we're really overrun with guys. Like this one. And even though we did all that, there's still some more Clay Guardians up here. Clay Guardians stronger than Clay Soldiers. It looks like we have a staircase here. But this brings us back around to where we started from. So this door to our right is just going to take us back to where we were. So what we need to do is move on back down here and try to navigate our way through to the bottom of this hallway where my allies just sort of jumped when we started. And keeping our eyes open again for more enemies. Now there can be stuff behind some of these pillars, and you can climb on the banner there to get access into the middle, and there is a door around here right here. And that kind of puts us into a room with a really interesting floor pattern. You can destroy the Buddha statues, or the things that sort of look like Buddha statues. They're probably aliens instead. But we found a weapons cache here. And I just can't quite grab that one coin that's sitting on top of the chest. So we're just going to ignore it. And we're going to head back down this way. There's a door over here. We're going to take that door. We're going to run into some more Clay Guardians. We're doing a pretty good job of clearing guys out here, and what we're going to do, though, is we're going to stop things right about here for right now, and we'll come back and we'll keep clearing out the Mandarin's palace next time. You can see a red arrow mysteriously, pointing us to something that we might actually want. So we'll go check that out. I'll see you guys then.